Russian President Vladimir Putin is claiming the West has unleashed a, quote, real war against Moscow.
The comments come as Russia celebrates a scaled-down Victory Day holiday. Today marks the Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany during World War II. The celebration also follows recent drone attacks that Russia blamed on Ukraine and the U.S., while both Kyiv and Washington have denied involvement.
CBS News senior foreign correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us from Kyiv in Ukraine to speak about this. Charlie, how significant from your point of view is it that Russia, in essence, scaled back this celebration on what's supposed to be its most important holiday? And I'm just wondering how the tone differs from previous years.
Yeah, Errol, you underlined it. It is one of the most important days in Russia and a very important day for President Putin. This is a show of force. This is where they mark victory over Nazi Germany in 1945, Victory Day. And in the past, what we've seen is rows and rows of tanks and aircraft and thousands of forces there. That was not to be seen. This is just a fraction of the number of forces that you would normally see in Red Square. There were none of the tanks. These are the combat tanks that you would normally see in an occasion like this. None of the aircraft. They showed one World War II tank, more than 80 years old, just symbolic. And more importantly than that, there were 21 other parades that were canceled across Russia, citing security concerns, but it has to be because they simply don't have enough weapons to show on display when they are deployed elsewhere, here or around this battle area. So it's a huge indicator of exactly what kind of force President Putin and Russia has that aren't already nailed down and engaged in the battles here.
So, Charlie, I want to also ask you about the battle front lines, because Ukrainian officials say that air defenses have shot down 23 out of 25 cruise missiles that were fired by Russia, many of which were fired over Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. This is just one of several attacks that have been targeting the capital this month. Tell us more about what message Russia's trying to send. Are there concerns that they're going to try again to take Ukraine's capital?
Well, Lana, if you speak to any of the defense officials here, Russia has always been intent on taking over Ukraine, which means taking over the capital. Is it likely or even possible? Not really, and I don't think anybody here is concerned about that. But what we are concerned about, and we've seen it the past 10 days or so, certainly since May 1st, is this huge escalation in attacks, especially targeting Kyiv. Now, we've been here for the past couple of nights. We came here intentionally because of that. So a couple of nights ago, we had dozens of drones that were flying toward the capital. All of them were shot down. Those are drone attacks. That's a swarm of them. And then last night, we woke up at about 5:30 this morning to the sound of explosions. And these were cruise missiles that were headed toward Kyiv. So it's very clear in the past 5-6 days or so that the Russians are intent on hitting the capital itself. Now, why it's important, obviously it's spreading fear. There have been some injuries from downed drones, because when those things get intercepted, they fall down and they damage homes and they cause injuries, sometimes deaths. But what military analysts are saying is they may be trying to exhaust Ukraine's air defenses. Every time they have to intercept one of these drones or one of these cruise missiles, it costs the air defenses in terms of what their capacity. So are they trying to exhaust Ukraine's air defenses, especially around the capital itself, ahead of this expected Ukrainian counteroffensive? Certainly there are concerns about that.
It just goes to show how exhausting all of this is for Ukrainian forces, fighting this battle in so many places. And it may be why Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now meeting with the European Commission president there in Kyiv. This follows his visit to the ICC just last week. Tell us what was discussed during today's meetings.
Well, Errol, one word, two words. First word, ammunition. They need ammunition here, and that has been promised by the EU. They're talking about 1 million ammunition shells in terms of the artillery, and they need it quickly, and that's exactly what President Zelensky has been asking for. Secondly, they've been asking for a better deal on grain. They're trying to move grain out of here. It's very important to keep the economy moving here. There's been a bit of pushback in the European Union because they want unrestricted grain coming from Ukraine. That obviously is going to impact people who trade grain within the European Union. So those two things, ammunition as quickly as possible and a better deal on grain exports.
All right, Charlie, thank you.